Hey, friends and family of Brighter Futures Farm. Wanted to give everyone an update. In the last video, I talked about we bought the farm and we are anxiously awaiting the move out there. But there's a lot of things that have to happen before we can do that. There are no buildings out there. We have to find someone to build us a house. And then before we do that, we got to find someone to design us a house. And then before we can do that, we got to figure out our budget. And there's a lot that goes into it. So I wanted to show everybody a couple of things that we've been talking about, a couple of things that we mentioned on our last video. Wearing some of our Brighter Futures Farm swag here. Just got that made. Got that as a gift. And I decided to trim off some of the beard. I saw in the last video that I was a little bit rugged looking. Could barely even see my chunky face. So not to shave it all off, but I definitely wanted to trim it down a little bit. So I want to get right into this video and just kind of talk through what we're thinking about. Get an alert on my phone. Amber alert. You have to excuse that interruption. I had an Amber alert on my phone and it gave no information at all. No location, whereabouts. It gave a car description and that was it. That was the weirdest Amber alert I think I've ever seen. Anyway, we're going to get into some of the details that we kind of mentioned on the first video. Want to talk about a couple of things in the direction that we're heading, and I hope some of our friends and family were informed by the first one, and if you were, please subscribe for more. We're going to keep posting on our journey. I'm going to try to record my screen. I think I can do that. So I'm going to flip this around, record my screen. I'm down here in suburbia in our house, down in the basement in my basement office. Easiest place for me to work right now.
Looks like I got it figured out. You should be able to see my screen here. So we broke down our must-haves and our like-to-haves for our farm. So here's kind of what we were thinking. And we've been thinking about this kind of stuff for a while, several years, as we've been looking at a place to call our own post-military after my retirement. Something that we've kind of whittled away at. It was his must-haves. We've had this list as long as 20 different things. We've kind of narrowed it down to our top 6 must-haves and our 5 like-to-have. So this farm that we bought is at least 50 acres. 50 acres was right for us because it gives us the space to spread out, to put animals, to have crops, and to separate the crops from the animals. Have a house. The house can be separate and have its own yard, and just give us a little bit of space. But we didn't want it so large that one, we had a large property bill, property taxes, and it would just become unsustainable from a maintenance point of view. So 50 acres sounded right, and we got right around 50, just over 50. Water and electric on the property is perfect. We have water and electric that runs onto the property because there are no structures. There are no lines that run anywhere. So we'll have to tap into the electrical system and into the water. But because it's already on our side of the road, we don't have to worry about trying to get it over from a neighbor or from the opposite side of the road. It's vacant land. There is no house, so we'll have to find someone to design our house, and we'll have to find someone to build our house. If anybody out there that are friends and families of Brighter Futures Farm has any ideas on who would be a good candidate to build a house on our farmland, please let us know. Big thing was a good school district. I don't know out there where we bought what people consider a good school district, but using criteria that we have previously used for our oldest daughter who's getting ready to go to college, we came up with our own set of criteria and evaluated all of the schools using that criteria, and the land that we bought is in a good school district. We missed the 20% of forest in this land. There is no forest on this land. There are some trees. The trees are in the low area. There's some drainage problems, so the trees really help with erosion. But the forest that we're going to be able to take advantage of comes from our neighbors. We've developed some good relationships already with our neighbors. We have an older gentleman just to our south, and he's allowed me to go onto his property so that I can hunt. I keep the area clean, fix the fences and things like that. So I've already got a good relationship with him, but no forest on our land. Within an hour of the grandparents, we're like 5 minutes from Mama and Pawpaw. So I think we knocked that one out of the park. Some of our like-to-haves. On a dirt road and on a dead-end dirt road. Our kids are going to learn how to drive. We're going to want to take walks. We're going to want to do things in private that we don't want other people to see. Nothing nefarious or illegal, but we're tired of living in the suburbs. So we are on a dirt road, and that dirt road has a dead end. A pond. A pond is a must. Want to fish, want to feed livestock, just want to have water. We have two small ponds on the property. Both need to be expanded and probably will be on my to-do list soon. But we do have ponds, two of them. There's a market for pasture-raised animals and produce in the area. Maybe not in the immediate area because we're so far out there, but within an hour to an hour and a half, there are a handful of farmers markets. And I think once we get to know people, there'll be easy, CSA kind of farm to plate type of opportunity. 50% farmland because we don't have a lot of forest. Most of it's pasture. I consider pasture farmland. It's not going to be row crops. We're not going to have beans or corn out there unless it's sweet corn that we're going to sell at market or put in our bellies. But I consider that farmland because it's pasture. So here's an overview of our property. Gives you an idea. When I said we don't have a lot of trees on ours is the property right in the center. So we have a lot of wooded area to our south and to our west. That's the same property owner. We have a pretty good relationship with him. There's some houses in and around, but for the most part, that's a dirt road, quiet, not a lot goes on. If you look at a topographical map, kind of see where the low areas are, and I'll switch to a different view. Those of you that were prior military can see the contour lines on this map, and they're used to reading contour lines and topographical maps. You'll see the low areas. Kind of gives you an idea of the drainage issues that we're going to run into. Probably some drainage issues that are already going on the property. That's okay. It's something that we have identified and we can work through. It's important to understand that. So that is our farm. We're excited. That shed there to the north, it was on this map, but it is not there anymore. There was a windstorm and it didn't make it. To be fair, it probably was going to get torn down anyway. The tax assessor didn't even consider it a structure, wasn't how bad of a quality it was. But two ponds, some trees, and a lot of places to put a house. Where do we put it? Right here in the southwest corner. I like it there. It's tucked away. People coming up that hardball on the west side, they won't be able to see us for the trees that are there. Probably put the driveway just north of that tree line. It'll be great. And then we'll put a barn or a workshop right beside it so we can have all of our fun toys and tools and hobbies and things right in the same area. Water line that I talked about. Water runs north to south and then it kicks over to the east. So plenty of opportunity to tap in. That spigot up in the northwest corner actually is a water drop that is being paid for by a neighbor because he rents out this corner, the northwest corner, and he's got some cattle. He's got some cattle on his land, and he had been using that. I continue to let him lease it from us until we get out there and get established. Make sure that we have someone watching over the land, give him an opportunity to put his animals out there. Electrical. The electrical runs that same direction, so it's perfect for us. Hey, maybe later we'll put an Airbnb out there on the northeast side, or who knows? There's opportunity. It runs on, two sides of the property. So the problem is there's fences everywhere. These are all just random fences. So it's only 60 acres, and whoever owned it, either the last owner or how many ever owners before that, decided that they were just going to fence everything. And I'm not talking about a single, or double electric wire or something like that. I'm talking about round post in the ground, 5 strands of barbed wire fence. We're going to have to do something about some of this fencing. We'll have to tear some of it out because it's old and decrepit. Some of it we can utilize, but I think the fences that we're going to use, if we're going to put out some paddocks out there for animals, then we're going to have to use like poly wire or some electrical netting that we can roll up and repurpose or reuse in different ways, different setups, and not be tied to these hard structured fencing. Probably what we want to do is set up fences around our house and our workshop so that we keep any animals that we have off of our yard. And then we have seen several antlered friends in the wooded areas to our south and to our west, and we are happy about that. Yeah, more to follow with them. This area here is going to be perfect for our garden. Um, a lot of this land is still in CRP. CRP is Conservation Reserve Program. It's basically the government pays you money not to use your land. Farmers like it. I think it's strange that the government will pay you not to use your land. Just billions of dollars just going out to people to not do anything with their land. So as long as the farm is in CRP, and it will be for the next year or two, we're limited on where we can put things. I think this garden will go well there because it's a flat area near water, gets a lot of sun, centralized. A greenhouse would be good right in that area because from the north by that shed, there's a natural driveway area. So to get to the garden and get to the greenhouse, you could just come in from the north off that dirt road. Beautiful piggies. We want to tuck the piggies away from the house and away from the animals. And I think there in the woods, we could carve out a little bit of space. They'll do some rutting and clean up some of the overgrowth that's down there. There's a lot of overgrowth that needs to be cleaned up. And I can go in there with a brush hog. I can go in there with a tractor or something and clean that up. But why? But why? I can go in there with animals, let the animals do it, let them get fat off of that foliage, and then we can harvest them at the end of the season. Same thing. We're going to put some chickens here in this naturally open area, have some systems that complement each other. Eventually, when this land comes out of CRP, in just a year, it's a year or two, we'll put some cows out there. I'll have to fix the fences first, but we'll have some sheep, maybe, some cows. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to have this. This is our goal in the next year to two. But right now, this is where we are. So, friends and family, if you know anybody that wants to help or have any ideas yourself on how to get us here, please send us a message. Let us know. Like and subscribe to our channel because we're going to keep documenting our journey into turning this farm into our dream and having a brighter future for us and for our family. Until then, this is where we're going to start.
Well, that was my first time doing a screen grab like that. I think it worked out pretty well. But that's where we're going to start. That's an overview of the land that we're talking about. We're excited about it. Our kids are excited about it. Now we just got to figure out our timeline to get out there. We got to find a designer that can help us design our house. We have to find a contractor that can help us build it, and then we have to get some tools, some equipment. We need a tractor, brush hog, and trucks and trailers, and all those things. And we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush to get those things, but it's going to be a process to get there, and it's something that we've been thinking about and dreaming about for a while. And we know it's a tough thing to do. And people keep asking me, so you're going to move out to the farm, what are you going to do for a living? What job are you going to do when you get out there? Because right now, I have a pretty decent job. I'm retired from the military, and my job pays pretty well and it's pretty cushy, to be honest. And I tell those people that I'm going to go out there and farm. I'm not going to drive a tractor and harvest thousands of acres of beans and corn. I am going to go out there, I'm going to raise food for my family and I, and then whatever we have left over, we will share and sell with others. So I know it's kind of a sometimes scoffed at kind of dream, and it's not really something that everyone wants to do, but that's what we're going to do. So stick around, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.